Welcome everyone to this live stream, which I entitled Total Energetic Mastery, How to Thrive as a Sovereign Being. Please let me know whether you can all see me and hear me. And if you can, let me know what's your energy level today on the scale of 1 to 10. 1 being down and on the floor and 10 being bouncing like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Do let me know because without energy, where are we? Hello, Christy. Good to have you here. Also, feel free to share this live stream with any souls that need to hear all of this. Roxanne saying all good. So let's get started. Amazing stuff. I have prepared some simple slides for you, and we are going to talk about subject that may not sound like the most magnificent subject, such as manifestation, but we're going to talk about something which is way more powerful, which in my personal opinion, this is the end game of our ascension. Sovereignty is where we are aiming at. Sovereignty is everything. And I'm passionate about many things in the realm of what I teach. I teach light language, I activate other people's psychic abilities, I teach energetics of business, ancestral patterns. But my biggest passion, something I get really massively fired up about, is actually energetic sovereignty, connecting with your higher self, or in other words, being the full expression of who you've come here to be, and running on your own energetic infrastructure. So today's session is going to be about this, about how to thrive as a sovereign being. Because, guys, I think sovereignty, it became a little bit of a buzzword in the spiritual community. And sometimes it sounds like a little bit solemn. It sounds a bit weird. Sometimes when we hear about sovereignty, we feel like, I don't know, we need to go off grid, live in some commune, disconnect from the matrix. Well, today in this presentation, Total Energetic Mastery, I'm going to show you how you can actually disconnect from the matrix. But actually, I'm going to show you more. I'm going to show you how we deconstruct the matrix from inside out. Doesn't involve any protest, doesn't involve us going into the streets, doesn't involve us exposing any governments. This is actually, as far as I know, the only way we can starve the matrix monster. But that's on the global level. On the individual level, this is the way for you to live the most fulfilled, the most happy, the most empowered life, and be everything you've come here to be. This is why I said how to thrive as a sovereign being, because honestly, sovereignty is not about hiding somewhere in the underground of humanity or underground of society and being a part of some fringe groups, living in your own kind of commune in the jungle. And by the way, I'm in Costa Rica, but I'm not living in the jungle. Still have internet. Look, we've got electricity from time to time. But actually, sovereignty can be achieved anywhere you are. And it doesn't matter whether you've got a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't matter whether you are a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter whether you are a business owner. Sovereignty is for everybody. Sovereignty is for everybody. However, sovereignty sometimes I feel is a bit daunting. This is why I entitled this How to Thrive as a Sovereign Being. And today, what I'm also going to show you, and by the way, is there anybody here on this live stream who was yesterday a part of my husband's Aaron's training on energetic alchemy, where he was talking about the ex-Soviet psychic program? Because a lot of teachings from what I'm going to show with you today, Aaron says me, well, of course, you anybody apart from him. There was about 300 people, so I expect that at least some of you have been on this program. I was there moderating chat, and the kind of chat box was flying so quickly that we were barely catching up, and there was certainly not enough time to answer all the questions. I didn't even have a chance to approve every question because it was just way beyond. Well, today we're in a smaller settings, and today I'm going to explain to you certain teachings and certain aspects of this former Soviet psychic program, all secret kind of knowledge that I've never shared publicly before. I use it daily with my clients. I use it daily in my life. And I'm going to show you an important part of it that Aaron didn't share yesterday. By the way, if you didn't see this training, everybody who's on our email list, by my accident, by my mistake, today received a replay of it. Not just people who signed up. I've segmented the list wrong. So if you are on our email list, it's going to be in your inbox. If you aren't on our email list, what are you waiting for? Sign up for whatever freebie we've got and you're going to find yourself there. But anyway, today I'm going to share with you certain extremely important part of that whole teaching, of that whole super interesting energetic system developed by former USSR psychics who worked for the Russian, or rather USSR back then government, in a secret military program, who developed this system of total energetic mastery. But unfortunately, they paid a big price for the sovereignty. They tried to sneak this knowledge out to the world, and some of them actually paid the ultimate price. They actually passed away because they were attacked by their former colleagues who were also powerful psychics. And it was a numbers game. But anyway, we're not going to be morbid. I guarantee you that you don't have to be sacrificing yourself for sovereignty. You can actually thrive as a sovereign being. And this is what this whole live stream is about. So let's get started. Before I share with you anything more, I want to ask you a question, and please type in the chat. Is it easy to be sovereign? If you reset even on a scale of 1 to 10, just to make it easy. 1, it's super easy to be sovereign. 10, it's absolutely challenging and it takes a lot. Where do you reckon being sovereign is? Is it easy to be sovereign? On the scale from 1 to 10, what do you think? There's no right or wrong answer. Let me know in your experience. Is it easy to make your own decisions, stand in your own power, defend what you believe in, stand for what you believe in, trust yourself completely no matter what the world is telling you, withstand any pressure? How you finding sovereignty? So LK says 2, Dion says 6, Stephanie says, I feel interference. Lotus, it's difficult to tell what's truly you and the energies of others. This is a very good point. Sometimes this is what I, by the way, apart from being a spiritual teacher, I'm actually a sociologist. I've got a master's degree in sociology. And there is a process we call socialization, which is an internalization, which is when we take all the societal norms and make them our own. And it is this smooth, seamless process, which I can call, as a spiritual teacher, imprinting, when basically all these societal norms, we don't even think that it's someone telling us that. It's actually us thinking, this is me. This is what I want. This is how everybody has it. Like, we don't even actually think about these norms and expectations. They become a fabric of who we are. So yes, it's difficult to tell what's truly you and the energies of others very often. Hector says it's 5 for you. Before you know how, no, after you have the knowledge and awareness, yes. And Christy says, no, I still have to learn to open my mouth. Yes, that's very difficult because sometimes we are actually, nobody here said that, 10 out of 10 being sovereign is super easy, is like a piece of cake, because it's not easy. Because sometimes being sovereign takes ultimate self-trust. It's like, I know what's best for me. This is being sovereign. I know full well what's best for me. It doesn't mean that I'm pig-headed. It doesn't mean that I can't take other people's advice or seek guidance. It doesn't mean that. Because yes, we can take other people's perspectives, but they only this perspective. But deep down, we know what we need, we know what we want. And the problem is that we are bombarded by everybody else's. And this is why sometimes it's difficult. But we're going to get to it. How do we actually get impregnable from all the outside influences? But I've got another question for you. And that's, I promise you, that's probably my last question to you. Later on, you can just chillax and I'll do all the kind of delivery, and I'll share with you all the teachings of that Third Eye Spy program. But I want to ask you this: what's the price for sovereignty? Because if there was no price to pay for sovereignty, we would all be super sovereign, we would all be making our independent decisions, we would all be literally rocking and rolling and not caring what anybody else thinks, what anybody else says. We would be super kind of groovy with that. So what is actually the price we're paying when we're sovereign? I want to know. There has to be some disadvantage, because otherwise, if it was a no-brainer, it's easy to be sovereign, there wouldn't be a price to pay. But what do you reckon is the price to pay for sovereignty? Anybody kind of who's feeling like there's this push against me wanting to be the full expression of me, and kind of all the societal pressures. Anybody has an idea? What's the price to pay for sovereignty? Stephanie says it's not the easiest path. True, it's not the easiest path. But what have we got to lose if we go for sovereign? There's got to be something, you know? I'm not like the kind of person who say, hey, you know, it's all like black and white. Sovereign is the only way. We have got something we gain maybe for not being sovereign, and we've got a price to pay for being sovereign. So Diana says rebuilding. This is a very, very good point, Diana. True. When we are really deep in what we call the matrix and those systems of power and control, maybe we've got a career, maybe we've got a family, maybe we've got status, maybe we're part of some religious group. When we have to unplug from it, or we feel like that doesn't serve us, it can feel like a demolition before it becomes a reconstruction. That's what we call in the spiritual lingo the dark night of the soul. We can call it demolition rebuilding. So yes, that's one point. Aaron says being disconnected from the masses and isolation at times. Absolutely. Thank you for being with us, on this stream. It's nice to have your family support, isn't it? It's always good. Susanna, losing people we love. That is interesting. Yes, we feel like, okay, if we just kind of stand for our own, maybe people will drift away. Maybe people will not like that new version of us. I've had that. People were so used to me being this total and utter pushover. People could just walk all over me and I would still pat them on the back and smile. I was like totally pleasing. And to literally, for me, if I was displeasing anybody, I felt like my world is falling apart. And it wasn't just people I loved, it was everybody, my employees, business kind of associates, all sorts of contacts. And yeah, it's like, okay, if I'm no longer a pushover, if they don't get what they want, nobody's going to like me. And yes, that is very, very good point. Losing relationships, Stephanie, yeah, same thing. Lotus, it feels like giving up smooth relationships with others. That's a really interesting point, because we feel like that if we please everybody else, then it's going to be smooth. But if we set up our boundaries, which we're going to talk about how to set it up energetically, that's the whole point of this live stream. I'm going to show you how to do it. It can be smooth. You can be sovereign and smooth. And the thing is, this is a really interesting thing with relationships. There is this thing that if we have always shown up in sovereignty, if we have always shown up with clear boundaries, with totally being faithful, with being who we truly are, with actually being the true version of us, not the one that we want to be accepted, but the one that we truly are, I feel like the relationships actually would be smooth. What is very difficult is resetting the boundaries. If people get used to a version of you which perhaps is very amenable, like a pushover, or maybe people get used to a different version of you, person who is maybe closed off or angry or actually disconnected, and then all of a sudden you're emotional and you are not composed or whatever, then we feel like it's not going to be smooth. It's going to be different. But I'm going to show you how to make it a bit smoother. Christy said, do some people consider sovereign to be rude or get offended? I know everybody thinks differently. Yes. Yes, there is a risk that someone will be offended if you are expressing yourself fully. There's always a person. I mean, like, what the heck is even being offended? I mean, if you're just standing up for your own, you are also not infringing on anybody else's freedom. You are just representing your own best interest, but you're not kind of like, you're not pushing onto anybody's territory. The problem is that very often others push on our territory for no reason. But I'm going to show you the energetics behind it. And then you're going to understand and you'll be like, that's why. So that's that. Jennifer says, maybe judgment and attacks, the more you step into self. That can happen. That's where we need very good protection. That's when we need very good energetic shielding, energetic force field around us, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So let's have a look at the energetics of sovereignty. Let's have a little look about that. So I want to share with you something that you may recognize from yesterday's presentation by my husband, but the metaphor actually comes straight from this former Soviet psychic program. We are actually naturally designed to be sovereign, like these beautiful, colorful balls in all kind of colors of the rainbow here on this picture. You know, some of them are green, some of them are blue, some of them are yellow and pink and red, meaning we all have different beliefs, we all have different desires, we're not the same, but yet these balls happily supposed to coexist. So we are designed energetically to bounce against one another, come into contact with one another and then bounce, come into contact and then bounce, and come back to our sovereignty. However, we somehow end up like this. So how do we end up like this? That's a good question. And what I mean, end up like this, like these kind of like, you know, cables that are all tangled like a big mess. How the heck do we end up like this? And would you agree that that's sometimes what our societal interactions look like? You know, we talk about codes of attachment, we talk about other people's expectations, we talk about I don't know, manipulation, where like even from the closest family members. What happens? What the heck happens? How do we end up like this? Well, in that Soviet program, they explain it very clearly looking at our chakra system. So this is the traditional 7 chakra system. If you want to add an earth star and a soul star at the top and bottom, you can. It doesn't really interfere with this picture. We're talking here mostly live in 3D and how these connections form. So if when we are born, we are actually, like on the slide, like these little balls, but very soon, through conditioning, through upbringing, through all of this, we kind of keep losing our sovereignty because people project from the upper chakras to our lower chakras and vice versa, from the lower chakras to our upper chakras. And we keep interacting with one another in this sick, strange way where all these kind of things kind of just become tangled. So people will project the expectations, people will project the low emotions such as anger from the lower chakras. And by design, in order to become this beautiful, colorful, independent balls, we are meant to take energy only from Gaia, only from the through the root, only from cosmos through the crown, and be connected to the wisdom of our own heart, which is totally guarded. That's the seat of our inner wisdom, intuition, and everything. Yet we start connecting very strangely from third eye and throat and solar plexus and sacral, and it creates this mesh. And do you know what I can compare this with? It's a little bit like if we are only taking energy from Gaia and cosmos, fresh energy, it feels like breathing fresh air. Like, remember this moment when perhaps you go to a forest or you on the beach and there is this beautiful fresh breeze, fresh air. The air is fragrant and you're taking a deep breath of fresh air. This is how you are energetically when you're taking energy only from Gaia and cosmos. Beautiful, clean, energized, feeling like on top of the world, feeling relaxed, feeling powerful. Well, in society, we're not taking our own fresh supply of energy. Instead, what we end up doing is we're taking stinky fumes of other people's recycled air. Think London Tube in rush hour, where everybody's breathing and kind of, someone armpit is in your face and all of that, or any other city, any other public transport, could be a train in India, whatever. Public transport kind of situation with closed doors where everybody's just recycling the same energy and you breathing in what someone breathed out, and there is no steady supply of fresh air. Well, that's unfortunately how it looks like. So, these two ladies here on this picture is kind of is kind of if they were all in their own thing, but that's only just between two people. We can go further, because what happens later is this. It's not just a single person interacting with us this way. It's lots of different single people. It could be, your mother-in-law, your brother, your children, everybody learns how to push your buttons. Everybody kind of does it. Everybody who's not running on their own energetic infrastructure has a need to latch onto other people's infrastructure, either to influence or to steal energy. And people do these, just bear in mind, people do these energetic kind of shenanigans subconsciously and on two levels. Either they take your energy from you, or they project their energy onto you and they influence you. Either way is bad, because you're either getting drained or you're getting influenced. Now, let's add to this a little extra layer. It's not just individuals that interact with your energy field. It is also all the big energetic structures, such as the church or any religion, the social media, the war and all the kind of horrors and all the kind of horrible stuff and all the collective traumas from famines, wars, etc. Your beautiful family, who sometimes is not so beautiful because we live in 3D and, we lack unconditional love, and we've got all sorts of family traumas. It's the workplace and the societal pressures. It's the kind of pressure to have this beautiful house with a swimming pool. And literally, you are then feeling like you're suffocating. You're suffocating under all these expectations. And the worst thing, you don't even know you're suffocating, because you're running on these programs like a good cog in the machinery. And the minute you try to push against it is the minute that this energetic monster called the Matrix sometimes represented by your close ones and your old friends and all of that. It's when that energetic monster tries to push back. So what I'm going to show you in a second is how do we starve the monster, because this is the big question. What's the way out? But before I get into it, I can see there's a great question here. What drains or shuts off the root? Can we clear that with this technology? You know, I think what drains and shuts off the root, it's not so much that the root is shut off. It's more like stuff is polluted. Although, interestingly enough, we had this thought a while ago. Aaron and I were actually on a bus to the capital city. A little bit like a situation like in this kind of slide with breathing recycled air, even though there was aircon. And Aaron just had this kind of realization. I remember when I was trained as an electrician, because that's Aaron's background. When we were doing high voltage stuff, they made us stand on a rubber mat. And now we're all wearing rubber shoe soles. We disconnected from Gaia, even by our very shoe soles. But that doesn't really matter, because it's not so much a matter of being disconnected from root or being disconnected from crown. I feel like these channels are very easy to open. You can open them with your will. The problem is how to stop leaking through the whole system and how to stop absorbing through all the other chakras. And this is something that I want to explain. So let me give you some very, very simple but effective tips on how you can do it. So number one tip is you need to strengthen your own energetic flow. And that's like the most basic stuff that you can do, is work on two energy streams that naturally they are there. It's just if you have never done it, they may feel like a little trickle. But if you start realizing the two powerful energy streams, one coming through your root from Gaia, the other coming from cosmos through the crown, the ascending and descending stream, the more you start realizing they are, the more they will increase. And you can do it through breathwork, imagination. The more you do it, the more you will feel it, the more these streams will strengthen. This is your equivalent of like an R&R, like a little bit of regeneration. This is something you do in order to actually energize yourself. So that's number one thing you can do. So is there anybody here working on those energy streams? Is there anybody here who actually does anything? Do you guys even feel your energy streams at all? Like how are you getting on with that? Anybody does any work to kind of even realize that you've got these two streams? There's many systems that do that. But I think that this is super, super important. But this is just the most basic thing you can do. This is how you start. This is how you start. And when people ask me what is my spiritual practice, I actually don't have much of a spiritual practice. I am a spiritual being. Sometimes, my whole life is spiritual, day to day. To me, energy is like basically, it's like this, picking up a glass. And spiritual, well, people sometimes ask me, how do I feel spiritual attacks? If you attack me spiritually, you might as well slap me in the face. I'll feel it just as strong. For me, it's all one. But one spiritual practice that I do is working on my energy streams. Light language, right? Well, not Christy. Light language can cleanse stuff, but I feel like you can work on this with just realizing those streams. This is something I do every day. Every morning, Aaron and I go on our motorbike to the gym, and when I'm a passenger, he's a driver, and like clockwork, I don't need any special meditative practice. I'm doing my energy streams on the back of our moped. That's what I do. I just imagine this and I imagine that, and I just kind of energize myself and connect myself to Gaia and cosmos and not everybody else's BS. But that's just the basic level. Next level, which is a little bit more complicated to explain, which I'll be teaching to everybody who comes to our full day workshop in the Quantum Club next Wednesday. It's to create a force field that will protect you from undue interference. And again, it starts with you first. You need to have those streams. So this is your basic. This is your, like, the streams are a complete basic stuff. Then to create that personal force field, we will be redirecting those streams in a specific way. Basically connecting it in such a way that creates a closed circuit. So solar plexus connects to the throat. We connect third eye to the sacral, and we create closed circuits. And it sometimes may feel a bit complicated how to do it. So we will have a guided practice in the workshop, and you also receive a recorded guided practice if you decide to come to it, if you're interested in this kind of work. And you can train your chakras to run on a closed circuit. So you're only receiving energy from Gaia, you're only receiving energy from cosmos. You are not projecting any of your energy out, you're not leaking it out, and you're also not receiving it in from other people. This is how you become completely impregnable. This is like your own personal shield. You fill it up with your own source, with your own essence. And this is one of the practices that I like to do. This is something we've learned from these ex-Soviet psychics. And I must say, even things like spiritual attacks, it's like your own personal detection and shield and everything else. I mean, I've got other technology available. I've got Atlantean technology for that to protect me. But this has really, really, really helped. And it takes some time. It's not a one-off thing to start practicing that. It's not a one-off thing. Like Legita says, I don't feel I need to start practicing. Yes, the more you do it, the more sensitive you become. But even if you don't feel it, you can simply realize it's there. You know it's there. You keep running it. You just imagine it. Imagination in the quantum field is everything. You don't have to feel. You don't have to see. You can learn to see. You can learn to feel. You can become more and more sensitive, so that energy world becomes like physical reality. However, in the first instance, it's almost like, I wouldn't say fake it till you make it, but imagine until you feel. Imagine until you see. Is just as good. Your imagination creates reality in the quantum field. So you imagine connecting your chakras in a specific way. You imagine creating that force field. You imagine repairing all the leaks. And that's basically how you do it. And this force field will protect you from any undue interference. So basically, when you start this practice, you need some time. And it's almost like, I always like to explain it, that training your chakras not to be leaking out and not to be taking all the projection is like training your hair to be either this way or this way. Let's say if you always had your kind of hair split in this way, it will take you a bit of time to dress it the other way. And it's the same with that. If you've always used to run where you kind of leaking, you're taking other people's emotions in, etc., it will take you a bit of time to get used to it. I reckon you repeat it for about a week or two, and it almost gets established. Then you just need to remember from time to time, like, strengthen your streams, but they're there. They protect you 24/7. All of the time, it works for you. That's like this impenetrable energy force field that works for you. It just needs a little bit of time. Next thing, what you can do, and I cannot stress this enough, is you need to run on your own energetic infrastructure, meaning work on your direct connection. And what I mean direct connection, I mean direct connection to the quantum field, direct connection to your guides, direct connection to source, direct connection to your higher self, to whoever you want to connect. You need to run on your own energetic infrastructure. And I understand it's so much easier to be consuming other people's guided meditations, activations, etc. And I do this, like I do a lot of stuff, such as I transmit light language, I do light language for sleep, I do all sorts of things like that. And it all kind of helps people. And I do it with good intention, but not everybody does it with good intention. And unfortunately, I feel like this, when we consume other people's stuff, it is an equivalent of when we learn a bike and we get those stabilizer little wheels. It's good for a season, but for goodness sake, every single person on this life, every single person on this earth has a capacity to be directly connected. It's good for a season to be relying on other people's energetic infrastructure, someone else activating you, someone else giving you Reiki, someone else giving you a tarot reading, but you don't have to do it. And there comes a time when you need to start running on your own energetic infrastructure. I've had that drummed into me by my own intuition. Whenever I was asking, I really wanted to have a business mentor. And I had business mentors in the past, but I wanted to have a more conscious business mentor. And every time there was a collaboration coming in or something like that, I've got my trusted tarot deck that I read for myself. And there was this hermit card coming up, meaning, no, you meant to be on your own. You meant to be in your own stuff. And I was like despairing. I didn't want to be on my own. It was easy to, have someone for support, have someone to tell me, show me the way. But it wasn't meant to be. The guidance was no. And I must say, from now looking back, it protected me from so many big mistakes, where like literally I would have kind of become really dependent on someone. And it also honed me to be the person I am, to not be kind of regurgitating someone else's thought, not be running the business in the way someone else runs the business. I run my business on my own steam, on my own energetics infrastructure. And we are all designed like that. We're all designed to be this beautiful, independent, energetic both. And every single person is supposed to run on that. Lotus, will this work to clear the attached energies of deceased person, ancestors, friends who've passed? It should. By all means, it should. But, I feel like, why did they attach in the first place? I would investigate that. Usually, this is just something that I want to add. Usually, and this goes for the dead, for alive, for anybody, it goes to spiritual attacks. 9 times out of 10, things attach to us, things come into our field because we let it. It doesn't come through the back door. It doesn't come forced. Sometimes it does, but very often we somehow let it in through the front door, through some form of access, through some form of contract. Same with spiritual attacks. They sometimes come from mentors, they come from practitioners, they come from family members. I would say these 3 are probably most of the spiritual attacks that I have helped and Erin has helped people with, came either from family members, teachers, or some kind of wonky spiritual practitioners who maybe practice, I don't know, some kind of like energy work on them, like, I don't know, Reiki or something like that. So we usually allow it. And why do we allow it? Because we feel like we are not good enough. Like we haven't got it, like someone else is more connected, someone else knows better. So, why can I trust my intuition? Can I trust what I'm getting? Oh no, I need to pay for that tarot reading, or I need to pay for that Reiki session. I can't channel this energy myself. And by all means, from time to time, it's great to come to someone, like we go to a doctor, like we go to a consultant. It's nice to have an extra pair of eyes, an extra perspective, but it cannot be a replacement for our own direct connection. It's almost like there's a difference between going somewhere from a position. It's another pair of eyes, It's another input, it's another perspective, and I'm happy to take it. There's a difference between this, and there is a difference between I'm desperate, help me, I don't know what to do with myself, I don't hear my guides, I don't trust myself, and we self-diminishing. This is something that I am massive on. I literally would rather teach people to fish and give them a rod than keep churning out, let's say, light language activation. This is all we teach inside the Quantum Club, inside the Transcend Dimensions, inside all of our programs. We want people to fly the nest. We want them to be there for community, be there for learning more, but everybody to keep discovering their own innate gifts, grow in their own stuff. In fact, I want every student that I've got, I want them to outgrow me and not keep them under my kind of energetic infrastructure, which, by the way, I see very often in the spiritual realm. I see gurus, I see teachers, I see people trying to kind of put themselves on a pedestal and cap their students. I also see this in business world as a business coach. And that makes my blood boil. I'm super passionate about that. And I really, really want to just kind of level the playing field. We can all do this. We can learn from someone for a season. We can go and consult someone, but all of it is about us getting to that sovereign position, starting with our energy streams, realizing that our energy field is like our operating system. And we have been given this operating system to master it. We have been given this so that we can actually do something with it, not so we hand the remote control to other people. So that's something. So Christy, don't say I could only dream of advancing that much. You can dream. Not you could only dream. You can dream. And you are advancing. You all are advancing. It's just sometimes what the problem is that some people will be like wrapping everything in ascension glossary, and we'll compare ourselves, and we feel like there's some people are more ascended than others, but that's not the case. We're all going leaps and bounds in our own tempo and our own way. So that. So yes, someone here says, I always prayed for spiritual masters in 3D, but they only appeared energetically. And now I'm grateful for creating this infrastructure and for this pure connection with source. That is it. That is it. So guys, I think this is for today the essence of what I wanted to convey to you. If you are ready for more, if you want to learn more about mastering your own energy field, and especially the more advanced techniques from this former Soviet spy program for the third eye spies for the Russian psychics, in exactly 1 week, but in the morning Costa Rica time, so next Wednesday, we have got Energetic Mastery full day live intensive workshop. It's gonna be a bomb. We hold these quarterly workshops inside our community, the Quantum Club, and it's kind of amazing every time we've got this workshop once a quarter. There's always a different subject. This one will be specifically about this energetic mastery, mastering those energy streams. And by the end of this workshop, you will energetically break free from the chains of the matrix, stepping into a world of freedom, abundance, and happiness. You'll learn how to command your personal energy field, molding it to serve you and not societal pressures or external influences, aka will be kind of tidying up this spaghetti bolognese, this kind of tangled thing, so you can become this beautiful, clean, colorful, nice, independent, sovereign ball. We will together create a personal force field, which will be like this impenetrable shield against all outside interferences. So we'll guide you in this practice step by step, slowly. You have chance to ask any questions you want. You will learn how to detect and fix any disturbances in the field. You literally, honestly, you can become like Master Yoda, which is like, I feel disturbance in the force. you can do it. If something is off, once you learn how to be sovereign, once you learn how to do it, you'll be able to totally maintain your energetic bliss and flick it like a fly. And you will also learn manifestation techniques that they don't teach you in The Secret, that they don't teach you in all the Western mainstream manifestation. We'll be using the techniques from Chiman Masters, which is the Chinese metaphysics, and obviously from the Third Eye Spice. So there will be 3 sessions. All of them, each one of them will be around 90 minutes each. So first one will be how to really disconnect from the matrix. So we'll see how to feed and starve these energetic monsters, and how to shake off this parasite to live in freedom, happiness, and abundance. We'll be doing some practice around this. We'll be actually doing it, not just talking about it. Then the next session will be Enter Total Energetic Sovereignty. And this is going to be super powerful. This is where you learn how to take control of your own energy field, how to feel it, how to shape it, and how to set it to serve you. If you've never felt your own energy field, in this session, you will feel your energy field. You'll be literally working with it. You will learn how to control your central energy stream, create an impenetrable force field around you to resist any influence, manipulation, or interference. You will also learn how to detect disturbance in the field and how to quickly return to your natural blissful state. And then session 3 is energetic creation mastery, where we'll be accelerating the manifestation of your true desires. You'll be mastering powerful techniques that we learned from Chinese Qigong masters and former USSR Third Eye Spice. And we obviously have our signature galactic connections. We star seeds, we kind of couldn't do without our galactic friends being present, so we do this. And we'll deploy highly advanced manifestation techniques that you won't find in The Secrets or any of the mainstream manifestation coaching. We have a long, beautiful, guided practice about manifesting our true desires. So if you want to join, you may be asking how. You need to do it through the Quantum Club. It's a Quantum Club exclusive workshop. And in order to join the Quantum Club, I'll explain how, but the Quantum Club is the best. It's the Jedi School of Life. We've got lots of Quantum Clubbers here today on this live stream. We've got weekly live classes, sessions, and quarterly workshops to train and develop you spiritually to the highest standards. So as a Quantum Club member, you will join the best spiritual development Jedi School of Light in existence. Unashamedly, we'll participate in weekly live sessions and quarterly full-day workshops, such as this. You will learn to unlock and develop spiritual abilities and elevate your consciousness to the quantum field and higher dimensions. You hone your psychic abilities and master the world of energetics. You will learn how to channel energy and work in the quantum field. You will learn how to read and access the Akashic records. And you will be connecting to various galactic races, learn to recognize differences between them, receive regular channel upgrades from them, and you will also receive my personal support inside the group. And if you activate your light language, you will actually get my personal feedback on its origins. So that's that. So what's included in your membership? Well, instant access to an indexed on-demand vault of over 120 session recordings. Every session is at least 1 hour, sometimes longer, plus all the full-day workshops. So you can binge on it like on Netflix, although I wouldn't recommend it because it's all packed with energy. So you can fry your field if you kind of did a bit of a Quantum Club marathon. So maybe, I don't know, one session a day allows some integration, but you've got access to so much gold. There's 4 live sessions every month. So we've got 1 session a week. Every Thursday we meet. And once one of these 4 sessions a month is a group coaching call where we all come on video, we share, we support each other. But other sessions are channeled Q&As. Other sessions could be practicing connection to the galactic races, channeling, all sorts of good stuff. There's always something new there. You will obviously have access to the workshop that will be coming up on 23rd of August, next Wednesday. but also quarterly full-day workshops, access to recordings of previous workshops, which we've had so many. One of the best ones was the spiritual protection and defense. This is my favorite workshop, where we shared some really advanced techniques, but we have also more beginners workshop, like there was the Dragon Day, the Starseed Initiation. They all beautiful, potent, energetic balls. So you also get access to a thriving, supportive online community of light workers and starseeds. The quantum clubbers are the bomb. Thank you everybody who's here, who's a quantum clubber. You make this place, you make the atmosphere, our personal support. And the best thing, it's no contract, cancel anytime. The price is $111 a month. But the good news is you are there on a principle of freedom. If you want to join us for 1 month and just come to the workshop, you can. If you want to stay for a few months because you need to watch so many sessions, and stay for 3 months. If you want to stay with us for a year, stay with us for a year. But there are some of you quantum clubbers who've been with us since the beginning, and we pride ourselves in it that people are there because they want to be there. This is why there's no contract, cancel anytime, because we only want people there who want to be there, not because they are bound by some contract, not because they paid up front. No, you pay monthly. It's like a gym membership, no different, or like a hop on, hop off bus. So what can I say? If you want to join us in the Quantum Club, please do. I'm going to post a link now in the comments. Otherwise, you can comment in big letters if you're joining us later. If you're watching this on replay, put the Quantum Club in big capital letters, or workshop, and we'll know what to do. We'll catch these comments and we'll try to help you this way. And by the way, if you're watching it on replay and it's already past 23rd of August, don't worry. Yes, you won't be able to join us live. You won't be able to like have this workshop as an interaction, but everything is recorded. So, I'm not going to here be putting some FOMO in front of you. Join now, in the next 1 hour, it's going to disappear, or the price will go up. No, the price is 111. It's going to be 111 for foreseeable, unless, I don't know, some inflation changes stuff, but we don't see it any other way. You can join us anytime and get all of this, and probably then some by the time you join. But if you want to be with us live on the 23rd of August for the Energetic Sovereignty Workshop, then I invite you wholeheartedly. It will be an amazing, amazing experience. But I hope this live stream today did help you a little bit to realize how we can starve this energetic monster of a matrix, how you can become more energetically impermeable. Honestly, start working energetically on those streams. Start doing this, and what's going to happen is you will stand in your own sovereignty, and you will really effortlessly become so impermeable that people will not step on your territory, because you'll be exuding a completely different kind of frequency. Once you learn to control your energy field, then you don't need to push your borders. You don't need to defend your kind of boundaries or anything like that. It will just happen naturally. Like, stuff will stop bugging you. You will stop taking other people's BS and influence on you, and you will not need to kind of leak your energy out to others. So thank you so much for today. I hope to see you next Wednesday, some of you live. And if you have any other questions, if you're watching on replay, type those questions below. I will try to get back to them in the next few days. Thank you so much for your live participation,